Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Just Bulldogs podcast. We've got the first live stream going on of the channel. So we're just half an hour away from kickoff now, so I thought I'd jump on and do a quick stream before kickoff. Going up against the Sharks tonight at 8 p.m. I'll quickly run through the team list. There's been a fair few changes. We've got Jacob Kiraz at fullback. His first time starting a game at fullback, I believe. Looking at the team list, it looks like he will hold on to that spot as well. They have Blake Taaffe on the bench, but as of kickoff, I expect Jacob Kiraz to play fullback. The wingers, Blake Wilson and Gerald Skelton. Centres, Bronson Cherry and Stephen Crichton is backing up after his performance in State of Origin. The halves, Matt Burton and Toby Sexton, with Max King and Sam Hughes in the front row. Reid Marnie at dummy half. Viliami Kickout and Jamin Salmon in the back row with Bailey Hayward at lock. And on the bench, we have Blake Taaffe, Josh Curran, Curtis Morin, and Lipoi Hopoi, with Harry Hayes as 18th man. Should be a very good game tonight. Cronulla coming off the bye in some bit of up and down form so far this season. But Bulldogs off a pretty tough loss against Sydney Roosters last week and looking to bounce back. Really looking for a big performance from our boys in this one, and I definitely think we should be in for a big game. Looks like it should be a dry track, so suits the Dogs a bit better with our smaller mobile forward pack going up against another big pack this week, the Cronulla Sharks. That's a mistake. Sorry about that. A big pack against this Cronulla Shark side. Some very big forwards in their team, the likes of Royce Hunt, Toby Rudolph, some of the big forwards that they've got, back rollers, Sifa Talakai, Teague Wilton on the bench for them. So definitely some big boys that we'll have to try to slow down. But the way that we've played so far in the lead up to this season, we've used our mobile forwards to get across the park and to work over the other team's forwards. So I definitely think this will be the same in this one. Players that I'll be looking to stand out in this one. Really excited to see how Jacob Kiraz goes at the back. We know how he'll go running the ball back. Sorry, I've got my son with me in this one. He's getting a bit fiddly, bashing the desk, but we'll push through. Jacob Kiraz at fullback. We know that he'll get through all the tough stuff. He'll get through a ton of runs, run for a stack of meters. Just curious to see how he goes with the ball playing. But I think he can have a pretty similar role at the back as Connor Tracy. Chime in here and there as a ball player, but the main aspect of his game will be the yardage part and getting out of our own end. So definitely excited to see how Jacob Kiraz goes. I assume he had the week to train for this position, knew that he was going to run out there. So very excited to see how Kiraz goes. Blake Wilson and Gerald Skelton on the wings. Very excited to see Gerald Skelton get another chance. Very exciting player. Very big body, very strong, and extremely athletic. He had a pretty good game against Roosters, a couple of errors or just the one error that led to points, but very damaging with the ball in hand. A few runaways, got the long field try off the Toby Sexton pass, and he got to show off his pace, but also very skillful, very strong, and great in yardage. So pretty excited to see Gerald Skelton get another go. Matt Burton and Toby Sexton back in the halves together. Matt Burton played in the centres against Sydney Roosters. I didn't like it. I was out of that game, and as at kickoff, I seen him lining up in that centre spot. Definitely wasn't very happy with that decision. With whoever made the choice to put him there, Matt Burton or Seraldo. Hopefully we don't see it again. Matt Burton, a very good centre, but without a dominant half inside him, he's a bit wasted out there. And he can let a game go by if he doesn't have someone to really put him into the game. So we need him in that 6 jersey, need him playing in the halves, especially with his kicking game. Good to see Matt Burton getting back into that spot with not really any pressure to move him out of it. We will be looking for a big game from our forward pack in this one. They probably lost the battle against the Sydney Roosters last week, so I do expect them to really bounce back in this one. Against a big forward pack, as I was saying, we'll look for Max King and Sam Hughes to really set the tone early. Try to get on the front foot, and then as our rotation goes, Josh Curran, Lipple Hippoy, and Curtis Moran get on the field. I expect them to really start to take advantage of a tired big forward pack. The other one, curious about Blake Taff on the bench. He has been on the bench for us previously this season, so I'm curious what their plan is for him there. If he's just a super sub to cover all positions as need be, they can see how Jacob Carraz goes at the back if he's struggling at all, which I don't really see happening, but they could chuck Blake Taff at the back. He's come on in the halves before, but that was when Drew Hutchison was in the halves and wasn't quite getting the second plays going. Toby Sexton so far this season has been pretty strong. So curious to see how they use Blake Taff. If they just chuck him in the middle, less likely is a pretty small body, but they have taken Jake Turpin off the bench. Sorry, so they could use Blake Taff in the lock role. I'd be a little bit surprised if that's what they did. Blake Taff, as far as I know, hasn't spent any time playing in the middle. He's a fullback, halfback, 5'8". And he's a smaller body, so I wouldn't expect him to get thrown in the middle. But we do have pretty small lock forwards on a regular basis, so there's definitely a chance that they could. Right now, it looks like Josh Curran would be the man to rotate with Bailey Hayward in that lock jersey, so definitely something to look out for there. The way that they've used our lock position so far this season is a pretty much 40-minute split between Bailey Hayward and Kurt Mann or whoever else has been in that spot. So curious to see if Bailey Hayward plays more minutes in this one as they don't have Kurt Mann or Jake Turpin on the bench, or if they do that split with Bailey Hayward and Josh Curran, but they do like to use Josh Curran as a front row forward. So something to look out for sure. Where we could target this Cronulla side, they are pretty strong across the park. They don't have the superstars everywhere on the field, but they have very good players pretty well in every position. Their outside backs are very strong. Jesse Raymond and Kyle Iro in the centres. Kyle Iro, a young fellow, it's his first year in the NRL. He has been playing some pretty exceptional football as a young kid coming up. Hey. So just got the young fellow here. And then on the wings, Ronaldo Mulitalo and Sione Katoa are two very good wingers as well. So not players that you can really take advantage of, but our left side edge should really have a good crack at it. And then Stephen Crichton, an elite center of the game. I know that he'll be able to get over him. He's playing on the right side, so that'll be going up against their left, which is Kyle Iro. So a good chance for Stephen Crichton to really target the young kid, but he has been playing pretty well. So really look for Stephen Crichton to dominate that matchup. And then Bronson Cherry in his return game going down that left side as well. Hey, they're talking. And then Bronson Cherry go on the left side against JC Raymond, who is a very big body. So Bronson Cherry will be up for a pretty big game here. Hey, there you go. Who's that? So yeah, in for a big one here. I do think it'll be a close game with potential for points, but hopefully after last week's game, Bulldogs gave up a fair few points. Not really the way that the Dogs want to be playing. So I think that they'll really want to turn it around, really pick up their defense in this one, and keep it a fairly low score. And hopefully we can put on some points towards the back end of the game. So my spotlight player in this one, backing up from Origin, I think Stephen Crichton will be in for a very big game. Really use his leadership skills to get the boys around him to really pick it up. We didn't have him against the Roosters, and you could sort of see that some of the effort areas that we usually have weren't quite up to standard. But yeah, really expect this one to really stand up. Sorry, he's getting real noisy. So yeah, Stephen Crichton will be my spotlight player in this one. And then score prediction, I think it'll be a low scorer. So I'll go Bulldogs coming away with a win, 16 points to 10. Very low scorer here. So yeah, really looking for a big one. That'll do for this one. We'll get this young fella sorted out and start looking at it. And but yeah, get ready for the footy. I appreciate everyone for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.